All right, so we're going to move on to our next speaker. It's my pleasure to now introduce one of our workshop sponsors, Holly Mowry from the Gulf Coast Community Foundation, who will give the green sponsor address. So let's go ahead and welcome Holly.
Good morning. My name is Holly Mowry, and I am the Community Leadership Associate at Gulf Coast Community Foundation. On behalf of Gulf Coast, Sarasota County, U.S. IFAS Extension, and their organizing partners, I would like to welcome you to this year's Sustainable Communities Workshop, Advancing Climate Solutions. I too want to start today by acknowledging that this is a difficult time for our community. Many of our neighbors, and maybe some of us in this room, have experienced tremendous loss as a result of Hurricane Ian. Please know that Gulf Coast Community Foundation stands with you. I would also like to thank the first responders, nonprofits, faith-based organizations, and countless volunteers who are working selflessly day in and day out to provide comfort and support in this time of need. You are truly the heart of this community. Right now, with everything that's happening in the world, it's really easy to focus on what's going wrong. Climate change, red tide, pollution in our air and water. There are plenty of problems to think about. But today we're not focusing on problems. We are focusing on solutions. There's a famous Mr. Rogers quote that I'm sure you've all heard, and which is not intended to be about the environment, but I think it applies. When I was a boy and I would see scary things in the news, my mother would say to me, "Look for the helpers. You will always find people who are helping." So how does that apply to the environmental challenges facing us? They can be scary and overwhelming, and we can feel like we're trying to solve them alone. But look around you. We're not alone. Everyone in this room is a helper, and we can find solutions together. And that's what today's all about. Today, we'll learn about how to face challenges with resilience, how we can improve our local agricultural system, new ways to increase energy efficiency, and local partnerships doing just that. At Gulf Coast Community Foundation, we're optimistic about our environmental future, and you are the reason why. We've found the helpers, and we're proud to be a small part of bringing you all together today. I hope you enjoy the workshop and leave feeling uplifted, energized, and ready to help. Have a great day.
At this time, I'd like to ask Bill Johnson from Brilliant Harvest to come to the stage to give the green sponsor address. At WSLR, we have 15K of solar powering our operations, and Bill helped us with one of those installations, so give him a nice welcome.
Okay. So while we're waiting for that, thank you everyone for coming today. Thank you in particular to the Sarasota County Sustainability staff, Lee Hayes Byron, Sarah Kane, and Aaliyah. You guys have done a great job. Please give them a huge round of applause. So, technology. All right. Oh, no, okay, go back. Well, I'll just go ahead and get started. So I started Brilliant Harvest back in 2009 because I had been listening to conversations like this for a number of years. When I grew up in Sarasota, we had solar on my house, thanks to my mom and dad. We were very fortunate, from that perspective. And so when I came back to Sarasota, we were looking for a career, something to do in the community. And I really wanted to do something that would give back. But I knew that I also was very interested in technology and had a great desire to build things. And so for me, solar was kind of a natural outreach and really allowed us to kind of give back to the community. I also come from a family that has a lot of involvement in not-for-profits. My mom and dad have been involved in not-for-profits for their whole lives. My wife runs a not-for-profit in Sarasota. And so when we started Brilliant Harvest, one of our main goals was to actually serve the not-for-profit community, to try to help them adopt renewable energy, to help their bottom line. And so we've been very fortunate over the years. And I do actually have a couple slides. One of the most interesting projects that we did was actually for Out of Door Academy, their Lakewood Ranch campus. There we installed 600 kilowatts of solar across 6 different buildings, over 1,500 solar panels. It's an amazing system and offsets about 80% of their campus-wide energy use. I had a photo of that that I was going to try to share with you. But anyway, that was a fantastic project and kind of a highlight of the time that we've been in business, and just a kind of wonderful example of how when the right group of people get together, they can make pretty much anything happen. Another example was the project that we did at the St. Petersburg Pier. That was for the city of St. Petersburg. We spent about 2 years in design, developing this amazing solar shade structure. If you haven't been up there, it's absolutely stunning. We worked with the architect directly because there were incredible problems in terms of designing a structure that was not only beautiful, but actually fully code compliant, both in terms of structural wind code and also all the electrical requirements that went into that. But the final result was amazing. And today serves, the people of the community of St. Petersburg in that outdoor marketplace, providing shade and traffic, and it's just a wonderful kind of a space. And then lastly, again, do we have slides? Are we there yet? Shoot, okay. Lastly, one of the ones that I wanted to talk about is, we do big, cool projects, and we love tough problems. We completed our first Tesla Power Pack commercial battery installation for a private client this year. It's one of only 2 private commercial battery systems in operation in the state of Florida. Amazing technology, very difficult project, and we love those kinds of things. We love working with challenging situations and stuff. But one of the coolest projects that we did was a project actually about 10 years ago. These 3 wonderful elderly women, Layla Frangi, Marcy Freeman, and Catherine Denty. If you know these women, raise your hand. Okay. They came to me and said, we want to start a community garden, and we don't have access to grid power, so we want to do an off-grid solar water pumping system. And so naturally, being these amazing women, they got online, and they okay, so here we go. All right, so that's ODA, amazing project. Again, super complicated, but wonderful project, wonderful client, and like I said, offsetting about 80% of the consumption on campus. This is the St. Petersburg Pier. This is actually just as we were finishing construction, and again, there's this outdoor marketplace. Like I said, if you haven't been there, please go. It's fantastic. This is the Tesla Power Pack system that we've installed down in Naples, Florida for a private client. Again, super complicated, very difficult, but amazing, and worked completely during Hurricane Ian and provided power to the client. So fantastic project. But this is the one that really kind of is awesome. Because these 3 women, Catherine, Marcy, and Layla, they came to me with this problem, right? And they said, we need your help to put together this system. And we went online and we talked to this company out in Montana, and they shipped us all this equipment, and we have no idea how to install it. So can you help us out? And I was like, this is cool. This is exactly the kind of thing that I love doing. And that system has been in operation now for 10 years. Okay, providing pressure water to Culver House Community Garden. And if you haven't been there, I mean, all of the community gardens are incredible. Please go visit them. It is astounding what they are doing. And it hits on every message that we're conveying here today, right? It's renewable energy providing pressure water for a community garden that's providing local sourced food and doing, recycling and composting and all of this wonderful stuff. And it's been doing it now for 10 years. But what really amazes me is just the power of the will, right? That these three women said, we're going to do this. And that's honestly why I started Brilliant Harvest, is to do projects like this. So I'm sorry. This is just some of the municipal clients and not-for-profits that we've worked with. Every single one of them is astounding, right? Their missions are incredible. Please, if you haven't researched these groups, I mean, it just blows your mind what they're doing. And we are so fortunate to be able to help them. So thank you. It's in Palmer Ranch. Culver House is in Palmer Ranch, and it's spectacular. It's the most beautiful thing. Absolutely incredible. So thank you, everyone.